going on, everyone? EVGA here for Serpent Tech. Yes, I'm whispering. My wife's asleep to the left of me, which is why the lights are off, except for the ones that allow you to see me. I'm going to be going over some Bitcoin news. The rebound we had a nice little pump the other day. Elon Musk, Ethereum, and what the U.S. is going to have to decide in the future. A lot more interesting stuff and conversations regarding the Ethereum Merge later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with all your fellow crypto miners. I've been tweeting it out and messaging about it all damn week, so stay tuned for that. I will try to be a little bit louder and talk to you guys, but welcome to Caffeine Crypto. Let's get into some news, and welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice. I got me some coffee. We had a nice little pump last night, didn't we? You know what? Last night I myself up, man. So I tripped over my son's charging cord when I was at his computer, and I landed on my thumb, pulled a Tom Brady, where the thumb bent way back. Oh, it hurt. It hurt so bad. So I can't grip things like I used to. The mouse hurts a little bit, but we will overcome. As you can see, Ethereum's sitting around $1,720. If you have to, turn me up because I am not going to get any louder than this. Bitcoin's at 21.2. We saw a nice little pump up, really, on the 9th yesterday. You know, going all the way from around 19,200 to 21,200. So that's a nice little chunk of change. And the same lines that I've drawn for quite some time are still holding true. If we were to fall, let's say if not today, tomorrow, I could see that we might hit the 20K range again. But we should receive some support there. And if we were to fall further, you know, say sometime next week, you know, 18.7, 18.8 is still where I'm eyeing. Again, not a technical analysis expert. I just look at the charts. And, you know, the other day when it fell, right, earlier this week when Bitcoin and the markets kind of tumbled, you know, 18.7, 18.5, that was a really good buying opportunity moment. I mentioned that in Twitter, but we'll have to see. So anyways, thank you everybody for joining us and hanging out and catching up. I'm sorry that I'm having to talk so low and whisper, but yeah, happy wife, happy life. She's off today for once. She doesn't get her Saturday off, and so I'm gonna do the news like this. Why shares of Bitcoin, and by the way, everything that I talk about in my Caffeine and Crypto episode is linked down in the description, also with links to various affiliates and sponsorships. Which, by the way, speaking of sponsors, let's talk about what this video or live stream is brought to you by. Today's video is brought to you by BT Miners, and on their website, you can sign up for their newsletter to get special offers or coupons depending on the service or product that they're offering, and their new website does bring a number of elements into the fold. For example, it's mining profitability calculator. Just like ASIC miner value, you can see what is the most profitable miner or cryptocurrency to mine at that time. Their miners range all the way from script algorithm to ETC hash, and they also offer repair services for ASICs or miners. Now, obviously, if you have a really old ASIC that parts aren't carried anymore, that might be a little bit harder, but just reach out to their services. See if they have a way to help you repair it. If you can't have your ASICs or your miners in-house with you or at your location, you may want to consider hosting services. Now, while I can't speak to all of these various elements of BT Miners because I haven't had one-on-one experience, do check them out. And by supporting them, you're supporting the channel, and I couldn't thank you enough. But let's get back to the video. So, all right. Thank you, BT Miners, for sponsoring this video. What do we got here? We got Bitcoin, Shiba Inu, and Ethereum. Why are they surging today from the motley fool? Today's market seems to think that the Fed might need to change course if the economy tips into a more severe recession. Now, I know the Fed and the U.S. government has been hesitant to even mention the word recession, but it's pretty much, we're pretty much in one. Just kind of, sort of. There's a few metrics that you can look at, statistics, but anyways, they're hesitant to mention it. And if we tip further, which they believe may happen in 2023, rising interest rates have crushed Bitcoin and the crypto market all year long because they make riskier assets less appealing as yields rise on safer assets. We've been hearing about this for such a long time. It's quite annoying. Let me turn this camera off. Bring you guys in a little bit closer. Bear with me here. All right, a little bit closer to my face now. Looks a little bit weird to me, but thank you everybody for coming over. Crypto Craig, Annie, Chris GTR, Retro Mike, Dave Collins, Magic Lucky, and Vitalik was here earlier. Hugo Down, what's going on? Black Cat Crypto, hope you're doing well. Budweiser, and we're gonna get back to it. So let's see here. Additionally, the dollar, which has been very strong this year, is likely to contribute to the struggling crypto market, and it has fallen a little bit. The dollar. I mean, I wouldn't say 100% that contributed, but I mean it does help out. Realistically, it looked like a lot of short positions were liquidated yesterday, and so we had a nice little pump up. And obviously, there's a lot of support around this level, the 20K range. Short term, of course, it's all about the macro and tightening liquidity. Longer term, however, the foundations for the future have been laid, and I agree. Long term crypto looks very enticing. Blockchain technology looks very enticing. I don't think it's going anywhere, whether it's proof of stake or proof of work or proof of whatever the hell you want to call it. It's here to stay. So how do we adapt? How do we utilize the technology to our advantage? Is my biggest takeaway. It's going to be a tough few months for Bitcoin and crypto. That said, Bitcoin has shown strength and that it hasn't tanked a lot further, as many of us been predicting. Though another such big drawdown is not beyond the realm of possibility, and I agree with that. In other positive sign for crypto, or another positive sign for crypto, is Gary Gensler, the SEC commissioner, made some comments on crypto regulation Thursday that were welcomed by the crypto community. Gensler said at a conference that he planned to work with lawmakers to give the Commodity Futures Trading Commission more oversight to regulate cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And they've been calling for regulation for quite some time. There's a lot of people on the sidelines that are just waiting for that regulation to come in before they enter the market. And when that money comes in, we should see a significant boom or push up. Not going to make any speculation, but I could see Bitcoin easily being, let's say 2024, 2025, somewhere near or in the 100,000 range. But we got a long way to go. There's a lot of foundation that has been laid thus far, and we just have to be patient with it. Stack those sats, hold, keep your head down, keep grinding. They'll go betting the farm and selling your house on it, but definitely see some positive things. If we could break past the 21.5, 21.7 range, I would be, and hold above it, I would be much more comfortable. And then, of course, we're going to have some resistance at the 25K range. So we'll have to see what happens. Is this a fake out? Is this weekend where the bears take advantage of our enthusiasm and, dump on us some more? We'll have to wait and see. But Bitcoin turns positive, rebounds from lowest levels since June. And this article is just talking about, how Bitcoin hit 19,000, really 18.5. And has pumped back up. Ethereum was down to 1,500, almost 1,400. It's pumped back up to 17. Macro environment also continues to prove difficult, with the dollar continuing to put in highs. Now, article was released before yesterday. This impacts all risk assets. When the dollar is high or looking spicy, or interest rates are high, crypto markets and traditional markets are going to feel the pain. Until we can decouple from the traditional markets, as I said many times before, we're going to continue to follow the traditional markets, S&P, NASDAQ, whatever you want to say. But if we see the dollar start to move down, then we should be able to get risk assets such as Bitcoin to move back up again. The crypto market has been battered this year, with nearly $2 trillion wiped off of its value since its peak in November. Bitcoin is about 60% off of its record high. However, the Ethereum Merge is spicing up some things, with Ether outpacing Bitcoin since both cryptocurrencies hit a low in June. And as we move forward, we have more and more people talking about the Ethereum Merge, which is why we're having our very important miner meeting, one of the biggest meetings that I think we put together in a long time, since EIP 1559. So I hope to see you there tonight in the live chat, hitting us with some facts, some feedback, some articles or links to verified sources. Main channel will obviously be my channel, but I believe my colleagues will be streaming as well. And this article came on Friday, right, which is where we hit the psychological barrier of 20K. Other digital coins were higher, including Ether, which pumped about 5%. the total cryptocurrency market value jumped back over $1 trillion again because we dipped below it earlier this week. The latest leg higher for Bitcoin has sparked by the slight weakening of the US dollar, as many articles will say, which has seen a stunning rally this year. The US dollar index, which measures the greenback against a basket of other currencies, was down about 1% Friday morning. Friday's rally could be a bearish retest of the 22.5 or the 23K price area, and we'll have to see long term what that turns into. Right, everybody's playing for the short term, trying to make that money. I honestly wish I would have put some money when I saw it at the 18.5 range, but I didn't, and I missed out on some dough there. But Fed Chair Jerome Powell is strongly committed to fighting inflation, suggesting further rate raises could be coming, which again is going to impact crypto and the traditional markets. So if inflation cools, with the anticipation around the Ethereum Merge, crypto market analysts at Japanese crypto exchange Bitbank said Bitcoin could test the 22K level, but also offered a warning, given that some Fed members, including Jerome Powell, said this week too much optimism could be dangerous. So is this going to be a fake out? I don't know. I mean, the momentum's there, but now we're hitting that resistance. So, you know, what it could fall back down. And like I said, I'm looking at the 20K range. If we did fall back down, you know, say Monday or whatever, or Sunday right before Monday. And, you know, if we did pump up more, we're going to have to fight that 22K range. And 22 is some serious resistance for us right now. So we'll have to see. Perfectly touched on a couple areas of my chart. So I'm just keeping my eye on everything. I'm not betting the farm, and I'm keeping my head down. So looking at the live chat, looks like DJ Mines is in here. I hope to see you later on. I know you're going to be busy. A lot of us are going to be busy, and I appreciate everybody coming over and hanging out tonight for the Ethereum miner meeting, which I will link in the description. If you're wondering, if you just joined the stream and you're wondering why I'm whispering, my wife is right over there, and she's sleeping. So that's why I'm whispering. But thank you for joining us. And everyone's talking about Ethereum. I can't stop talking about Ethereum. I'm so fucking tired of talking about Ethereum. Sorry for cursing, but it's like so annoying. Ethereum. Shut up. Ergo, Flux, Ravencoin. And I keep saying this word wrong. How do I say it correctly? Is it Neoxia or Noxia? Like, I don't know. I keep saying it wrong. And people keep calling me out on it. But, you know, there's other projects, people. Anyways, you know. CoinGecko uncovered the places around the world with the most interest in the upcoming Ethereum Merge. The data found that Singapore, as the country's most interested, and by a large margin, Singapore scored 377, which is nearly 100 points higher than the second place nations, Switzerland and Canada, both tied at 286 points. Germany and the US and the Netherlands filled out the remaining top 5. So this is talking about search terms, or the countries that are searching Ethereum. Scores were determined through analysis of frequency of 10 search terms and then combined for their overall ranking. These terms include Ethereum Merge, ETH Merge, ETH POW, among others. Certain terms have particular potency in Singapore, such as Ethereum Merge, ETH Classic, and Ethereum. So ETH Classic, I made a video that went out Friday talking about Ethereum Classic and its prospects. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to check it out. It's on the channel. In Switzerland, users search for ETH alone more than anywhere else in the world. So that's just typing in ETC in their Google search. Effects will ripple throughout the entire ecosystem of the cryptocurrency world when this Ethereum merge happens. I do 100% agree with that. Prior to the Bellatrix upgrade, which took place on Tuesday, September 6th, 74% of Ethereum nodes were ready for the transition. So we're gearing up, baby. We're ready. We got the miner meeting tonight. Next week, Ethereum will no longer be mineable, supposedly. I believe the time scale is still on the 15th, but it could happen on the 13th. I haven't seen too much of a dramatic change in our overall hash rate, which would bring a huge amount of change or elevate the timing in which we have this merge. Now, Ethereum launches as Congress reconvenes as industry awaits regulation. Remember, we've been calling for regulation for quite some time. And it looks like people want to push for it. Now, as I mentioned before, we want to be careful, make sure that our regulators are not regulating us into the ground, right? We don't want to stifle innovation. We don't want to hurt the cryptocurrency industry. There's a way that we can coincide with the traditional world and use blockchain and all the great technologies available to us to kind of lift up the world, so to speak. But there's people out there that want to take advantage of others and make money off of them. And unfortunately, those projects need to just get pushed out or regulated out, or in some cases kind of exposed, and we will clean up the world, so to speak, at least the crypto world. Because 20,000 cryptocurrencies, most of them S coins, doesn't really help anybody. Where's the tangible benefits? Where's the real world use cases? Where's the good stuff? That's what I care about. But moving on, Ethereum Merge is disrupting crypto trading and lending. I could believe that. There's no reason to talk any further about it. And hang on. Elon Musk. There we go. Elon Musk. Gotta bring Mr. Elon Musk into everything. It's like, Jesus, like Ethereum. Oh, my camera just turned off because I wasn't using it. Let me turn it back on real quick. But you can hear me just fine. So Elon Musk, $258 billion lawsuit expands. It looks like the racketeering lawsuit accusing Elon Musk of running a pyramid scheme to support the cryptocurrency Dogecoin has expanded, adding 7 new investor plaintiffs and 6 new defendants, including the tunnel construction business, The Boring Company. According to the amended complaint filed on Tuesday night in Manhattan federal court, Musk has his electric car company Tesla, his space tourism company SpaceX, Boring, and others intentionally drove up the price of Dogecoin more than 36,000% over 2 years, and then they let it crash. How could you do that to us, Elon? How could you let it crash on us? I believed in you, Elon. I really could care less. Thank you, Wasted Trash Panda, for the $2 donation. Really appreciate that. I'm turning on my camera, see if I can bring it back to life here. I did not have it plugged in. I was charging some other components. Let's see if it will pick up. Nope. I completely lost it. Oh no. Oh well. Moving on. Yeah. See, I'm frozen. I'm frozen in time, guys. I'm done. All right, so we're going to do the rest of this show without my ugly face getting in your way. I guess that's a good thing. Moving on, crypto mining has hindered the U.S. ability to battle climate change, the White House says. Now, I can understand this, right? And we've been talking about this for quite some time. Unfortunately, this is not as true as I would like to say. There we go. We got the camera working. It's not as true as I would like to say. So there is some statistics. There is some data out there. The really hard part is the data validation. Even the White House has a report, which will be featured in tonight's Ethereum miner meeting, where they can't 100% confirm this is what we use for this XYZ. Because obviously there's still some more data that needs to be researched. But all of these data marks coming from various entities all say something a little bit different. And again, those numbers are going to be talked about extensively, or a little bit more detail, not extensively, later on tonight during the merge meeting. Because we do have to update, guys. We do have to grow. We do have to improve our infrastructure, renewable resources, and not just solar, not just hydro, not just this and that, but we gotta explore a number of sources, right? Nuclear energy is getting cleaner and better, more efficient. So how can we combine all of these sources? You know, how can I use the solar that is on the Florida homes or the South Georgia homes? How can I combine that with the hydro in the mid, or the wind in the Midwest, and the hydro in the Southeast, and nuclear power plants distributed throughout our country, or countries, in a safe, responsible manner. Obviously, nuclear scares a lot of people, and I understand that, but we're making some breakaways or improvements in our electrical infrastructure or technology. It's just, we got to implement it, right? We got to implement it. All this money that you want to spend, let's spend it on the right stuff. But crypto mining could hold back the US from hitting its target of reducing emissions by 50% by 2030, or going 100% emission free by 2050. This is not a joke. That is a target set by the US and the government. Will we hit that? We don't know. But the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy on Thursday warned that cryptocurrency mining operations could hinder the country's ability to mitigate climate change. It also said federal agencies should consider information from crypto miners and local utilities in a privacy preserving manner to help understand and mitigate the problem. So I know a number of mining facilities, large, mid-scale, and small, working with the federal government to try to help educate. I also am trying to get into that arena myself to make sure that our officials in education and government personnel are properly aware, properly educated before they go making rash decisions. But remember, big oil has money, baby. And if they grease your pockets, you're going to make decisions that's best for them. So we can get these money grubbing oil companies and even electric companies. There's been some corruption here in my great county of Duval that has been greased up. JEA, look it up. Jacksonville Electric Authority had their pockets greased and they got busted. But crypto operations in the U.S. now consume as much energy as all home computers or all residential lighting, the White House said in a report. The findings come amid mounting criticism over the amount of electricity that crypto mining operations produce. U.S. crypto production represents about 0.2 to 0.3% of global greenhouse gas emission and about between 0.4 and 0.8 of domestic emissions, respectively. Though these estimates are uncertain, says the report, this year crypto mining produced about 110 to 170 million metric tons of carbon pollution across the world and roughly 25 to 50 metric tons in the U.S. alone, says the report. Depending on the energy intensity of the technology used, crypto assets could hinder the broader efforts to achieve net zero carbon pollution consistent with the U.S. climate commitments and goals. Now, the articles are linked down there, but this report is not. You can find it if you really wanted to, but this will be featured again in tonight's show, where we're live streaming with all of your favorite content creators and crypto miners in the community. Maybe not every single one. There's so many of you guys, and I'm great to see, how the community has expanded over the years. But we got, everything from big to small. We got some pools. I have some dev comments. I wasn't able to get Tim Biko or Micah, but they've been providing us with a lot, so we should be just fine. Of course, this table shows here, kind of explaining like how mining works, proof of work, proof of stake, proof of capacity, or POC. So that would be kind of like your Chia, or what's the other one that uses storage? Basically, miners compete using available disk or storage disk space instead of computational power. It tries to say here, and if you look towards the bottom here, ETH 2.0, most of these are proof of stake. The date, computing devices in 2021 looks like Ethereum 2.0 has 183,000, almost 184,000 validator nodes, whereas Algorand has 1126, Cardano almost 3,000, Polkadot only 300, Tezos only 400, and Bitcoin with 2.9 million computing devices, all mining rigs. Now, I'm not sure where they're getting these numbers from, but they say power use watts/device. For Ethereum, it's 6 watts/168. So I'm not sure if that's like 6 watts per 168 devices. I'm not sure how they mean that, but I'm sure the report will provide more detail if you kept reading it. And then Bitcoin, they show almost 2,000 to 3,500 is the number they provided. I'm not sure if that's like devices. And note how they say here, it's very hard to see, but they say mining rigs. Bitcoin can't be mined with mining rigs. It's ASICs, but I think that's what they mean is ASICs. So, but we'll talk more about this in today's later on show. First of its kind, the White House. Bitcoin mining must be greener, or the U.S. should ban it. All your base belong to us. Unfortunately, if we don't go green, people will say that, and we're gonna have to deal with it. Now, I know Seth Estrada, Mind Your Biz, did tweet out something the other day. I don't think they would do it. I don't think they will ban, mining, but it depends. It depends on a number of variables. If we're going to sit here and continue to burn fossil fuels in order to get our electricity instead of using all the avenues available to us, that it could be a very much possibility. The White House today suggested that U.S. lawmakers and regulators could soon crack down on cryptocurrency mining because of the large carbon footprint. And I love how they just keep on saying large or big or Bitcoin mining is bad, blah, blah. What about all the other stuff that we need to do better at? What about all the other items, which again, more detail later on this meeting. I know I keep saying that. I'm going to drill that into your head so you show up, damn it. In a Thursday report mandated by President Biden, executive order in March, this is the one that we were waiting for, right? So the report from March that President Biden ordered, the White House Office of Science and Technology, WHOS, who's? Who's? The who's? No, the who's T, I don't know, technology policy. Anyway, said crypto miners could reduce greenhouse gas emissions with the help from Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the Department of Energy, DOE, and federal agencies. It proposed the government collecting more data, so you want more data now, on the power usage from the industry, advance energy efficient standards, and promote the use of environmentally responsible crypto asset technologies. I can tell you right now, all those various methane pipes that you left in the ground, you jerks, were leaching all kinds of chemicals or bad juju into the atmosphere, and miners figured out how to tap into it to create energy and mine with it. So you're mining off of something that was going to leach into the atmosphere anyway. Yeah, it's not as green as not using any emissions or producing any emissions, but it's better than just letting it leach into the atmosphere. So, and that does get mentioned in the White House report. But the White House also went as far as to say if measures to make mining greener don't work, energy-intensive crypto mining, namely Bitcoin, could be banned altogether. Should these measures prove ineffective at reducing impacts, the administration should explore executive actions, and Congress might consider legislation to limit or eliminate the use of high energy intensity consensus mechanisms for crypto asset mining, the report said. Like I said, I don't think they would do it. I think their main focus needs to be on improving the overall infrastructure of North America, not just the U.S., but North America. Right? You know, we got to do this across the board. And, you know, the whole world needs to participate. We need to be greener. We need to be better. We need to reduce emissions. You know, you can be one of those people that say, you know, climate change isn't real. Go step outside, and if you grew up anywhere where you live, you're going to notice a huge difference between what the temperatures felt like or what the environment felt like when you were a young child or individual compared to now, and there's going to be a big ass difference. If you say no, I don't feel a difference, then I don't know what to tell you. But it's definitely impacting us, and this is going to take the whole world to participate in order to fucking fix it. On a positive note, U.S. sees 30 million in cryptocurrency from North Korea linked hackers. Now, Lazarus Group, really good group though. You can hate on them all you want. They're pretty damn smart. You know, the feds were able to get that 30 million back. It's still being worked on, but cryptocurrency analytics firm Chain Analysis said on Thursday that it helped the government seize over 30 million worth, or exactly 30 million worth of digital coins that North Korea-backed hackers stole earlier this year from the developer of a non-fungible token-based game Axie Infinity. The people who pulled off the heist transferred 173,600 Ethereum worth, about almost 600 million at the time, and 25.5 million in USDC stablecoin, making it one of the biggest cryptocurrency thefts ever. It is getting harder to hide, right? We all talked about it. You're going to hear me mention it here in a minute, but the seizures demonstrate that it's becoming more difficult for bad actors to successfully cash out their ill-gotten crypto gains. We have proven that with the right blockchain analysis tools, world-class investigators and compliance professionals can collaborate to stop even the most sophisticated hackers and launderers. The FBI attributed the theft to Lazarus, the North Korean group, hacking group. The name used to track the hacking group backed by and working on behalf of the North Korean government. According to Xfinity developer Sky Mavis, the hackers pulled off the transfers after gaining access to 5 of 9 private keys held by transaction validators for Ronin Network Crossbridge, a dedicated blockchain for the game. The hackers then initiated an elaborate laundering process that involved transferring funds to more than 12,000 different currency addresses in an attempt to obfuscate the stolen coins movement. Now, Tornado Cash, as we all know, has been shut down. And we got a nice little chart here. It says stolen Ether sent to intermediary wallets, Ether mixed in batches using Tornado Cash, Ether swapped for Bitcoin, Bitcoin mixed in batches, and then Bitcoin deposit to crypto to fiat services for cash out. Now, I want you to know that North Korea doesn't really have a huge GDP if you take crypto out of it. But because of crypto, they're literally financing their government, their country. They kind of need to hack and steal funds in order to, help their country. And they will do it. They're state sponsored. If they want to get into your systems, they will freaking do it. It's unfortunate. I would welcome individuals, doesn't matter if their government's one way or the other, but for individuals to not have to suffer, to be able to afford to eat, live comfortably, and live their best life, I welcome that. But certain countries are ran a certain way, and not everybody gets to experience it. The gracious things that we get to have, like the fact that we're sitting here today, talking to each other or watching this stream in the comfort of our own, location, home, car, whatever it is, in peace, is great. And still what's going on across the world is quite unfortunate. The war in Ukraine has not gone away. It's still ongoing. There are people suffering out there. So, sometimes you just got to think, I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm not going to complain about what I have or what's wrong in my life, because I could be much worse. That's the way I think about it. You might think about it a little differently. But anyways, moving on. Binance to issue Soulbound tokens to users who complete KYC, know your customer checks. Basically, it looks like the Soulbound token on the BNB chain for the users who complete know your customer requirements. Soulbound tokens, which in this case act as identity passports across the BNB chain, are unique and non-transferable. Users who would prefer their identity not be shared across the entire network can opt out of the token. Binance Soulbound token, named Binance Account Bound, or BAB, will allow users to participate in building projects while earning rewards according to the release. The concept of the Soulbound token was first discussed in a blog post by Vitalik Buterin, a co-founder of Ethereum blockchain. In January, he described the new asset class as a non-transferable digital tokens that represent social identity in a decentralized society. So basically, instead of a chip being implanted in you, it could kind of be like your ID on the blockchain. The use of KYC in crypto came under intense scrutiny this week when decentralized exchanges DYDX prompted its users to complete a liveness check using webcam technology, with several users commenting on the anti-ethical relationship between decentralization and KYC. Let me know your thoughts in the comments or in the live chat. What do you think of this move by Binance? And that's pretty much the news that we got here today. We're going to listen to this real quick. I'm going to mute the mic and listen to this and see what we get. Of course there's an ad. There's always a fucking ad. I swear to God, there's always an ad. Hang on, it's almost over. Let's see what they say.
Today, Ethereum's upgrade to proof of stake begins. Binance making a major change that will affect Circle's USDC. And Congress is back in session. So should you expect any progress on crypto regulation? Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Kate Rooney. Digital currencies were rallying earlier this morning, but that lost some steam by noon Eastern. Bitcoin traded around $19,000. Ether, meanwhile, jumped to $1,600, and Solana traded above $33. Okay, let's talk about the top stories, starting with what's driving Ether prices higher. The Ethereum Merge has officially begun. That's thanks to the launch of the Bellatrix upgrade this morning. Now, this isn't the merge itself, but the Bellatrix upgrade prepares the Beacon chain, which is the proof of stake blockchain for the merge. Vitalik Buterin said the final transition to proof of stake remains on track for some time between September 13th and 15th. Next, the world's largest crypto exchange is making a major change affecting stablecoins. Binance will automatically convert users' crypto from Circle's USDC, Pax Dollar, and True USD into Binance's own dollar-pegged coin. In a blog post, the exchange said this change will take place on September 29th. It would enhance liquidity and wouldn't affect users' ability to withdraw funds in USDC, USDP, or TUSD, which are all different stablecoins. What this does is pool liquidity on that exchange. They call it unifying the order book. A good analogy to think about is trading for an exchange. So if you're trading FX, you're looking at the euro-US dollar pair or the euro-yen, for example. There's one trading pair per currency. There's one version of the US dollar. In crypto, though, you've got multiple versions of the US dollar, for example, and you have to pick the pair you're going to go with. By picking one dominant dollar-backed cryptocurrency and pooling these together, the idea is to increase liquidity and make it easier for traders. Coinbase made a similar move back in July. It unified their order books under USDC, which is Circle's stablecoin. USDC is also the dominant stablecoin on FTX. And while this may be seen as a hit to Circle and Paxos, could also weigh on the market's dominant player and their biggest competitor, Tether. Tether is the largest stablecoin by market cap, but in industry. The Treasury Department, for example, was asked to explore a potential CBDC, or a central bank digital currency, while the Justice Department was asked to research whether Congress should pass laws on crypto. The executive order set a 120-day deadline for that research, which happens to be today. For our main story of the day, we're going to focus on regulation here in the U.S. We're awaiting those reports from federal agencies and progress on regulation from Congress, which is now back from its summer recess. Crypto World's Jordan Smith spoke to Ari Redboard of TRM Labs about the potential for regulation this year and just how effective rules in the U.S. could really be.
We saw the deadline for Biden's executive order at the start of this week, and we have Congress returning from its summer recess. So with all of the focus on regulation in crypto, how likely is it that we'll see some sort of movement in terms of rulemaking through by the end of 2022?
A couple things really sort of happening at one time. And as you mentioned, sort of the deadline is coming for the executive order. And really what that means is, look, the executive order, really the first time a US president ever spoke in a meaningful way about cryptocurrency at all, tasked the interagencies, so executive branch agencies, with coming back with reports on how they intend to, or sort of the best practices for regulating cryptocurrency in so many different areas, from environmental to consumer protection, law enforcement to sort of systemic issues. And really what we're going to see over the next few weeks is these agencies sort of respond with their plans. And we already have seen some of it. DOJ has come back with a plan on how it intends to continue to work with international partners. We've seen the US Treasury come back with a similar response. So we've already seen a lot of this. So I think the executive order, to your question, will definitely play itself out in terms of these responses. And what we'll start to develop is a clearer, at least sort of regulatory executive framework for how executive branch agencies intend to regulate or to think about sort of cryptocurrency. The real question is sort of how the Hill is going to ultimately move forward. You know, I think by recent counts, at least this summer, the last time I checked, there are about 50 bills, in some state or another on Capitol Hill that involve digital assets. And I think we're likely to see movement in certain areas. But I think if what we're really hopeful for is some sort of large, clear, comprehensive framework for digital assets, something like what was proposed by Senators Lummis and Gillibrand in the Responsible Innovation Act, I think we're probably going to wait for some time to see something like that really come together. But I think what we'll see is sort of more focus on certain areas. And I think one of those areas will be stable coins, where we'll see more activity.
Are there?
So do you think we need regulation? I mean, do you want it to be the Wild West for the rest of the crypto life? I mean, there's always going to be those coins that you can always spec mine or speculate trade in. But, for the top cryptocurrencies that's been around for years, don't you think we need regulation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But that's pretty much the end of the show. I'm gonna go and talk to the live chat for a little bit. Just wanted to play that little clip for you. Good morning, LT Serpent. What is your favorite pizza? My favorite pizza is honestly the meats. So bacon, pepperoni, sausage, Italian sausage. That's my favorite pizza. The White House uses WordPress. Is that what they use? Why would you say that? It does use WordPress. Oh, good spot, good spot, good spot. It does use WordPress. I hope they keep it updated because that's WordPress is like the most compromised, or like if you don't keep it updated, especially your plugins, you're always gonna having issues or compromise or SQL injections. Another question here by ABMNS Production. Will they return all these coins to their original owners? Now he's talking about the North Korean hack from Lazarus, the state-sponsored North Korean group that hacked Axie Infinity. I believe from last update is they're still working with government officials to try to get the funds over. Let's see here. It would take some time for these funds to be returned to the Treasury. Once it gets to the Treasury, it should be dispersed to the wallets that were affected. But they say here we look forward to continuing to work with the cryptocurrency ecosystem, prevent them and other illicit actors from cashing out their funds. So maybe, but 9 times out of 10, if something's hacked or somebody creates, falls into what's called a bankruptcy, Chapter 11, or bankruptcy in general, your funds are pretty much gone. Like Celsius, whatever funds I had in there, I pretty much wrote off. But that was nothing compared to the thousands or tens of thousands or possibly millions that people had in Celsius that now lost all of that funds. So I feel bad for them. But again, not your keys, not your coins. Don't do it. Let's see here. What's up, Big Irish Crypto? Good morning to you as well. She reminds me of Danica Patrick talking about the news anchor we were just watching. Thank you for smashing the like button, Gordon Murray. And let's see here. Let's talk about a cone head. Wow. You gonna do him like that? You gonna do him like that?
Particular, I think what we'll see.
You gonna call him a cone head? Oh, dang, dude, that's dirty. That's funny though. She sure is taking care of her teeth. Yeah, she's got beautiful white teeth. Way too much regulation. So yeah, we don't want to regulate too much. We don't want to regulate cryptocurrency into the ground. But then again, we have almost 21,000 cryptocurrencies, most of them S coins. We don't need that much, unless they bring some real world use cases, some tangible benefits to the world. I don't see a reason why we need to have 22,000 or 21,000 cryptocurrencies. You guys are killing that guy. Some chocolate and nuts on his head, and he would make it good. He could be talking drumstick. That's funny. Any regulation will benefit the government and rich. Yes. So that's one of the hard parts. Is if we regulate cryptocurrency, or we start to, we want the regulation. We want the framework, right? We want the framework. Where's the line? Because we cross the line and then you jail us or you fine us or whatever, but you never clearly define the line. So we want some type of framework in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. But again, too much regulation can stifle innovation, and then the crypto world is impacted in a negative way. I still think there's some positive forward direction that we can move if we continue to work with our local leaders and specialists. So we'll have to see. Yeah, once the government gets involved, anything that's centralized, like the Ethereum switching to proof of stake, a lot of stuff is on Amazon. We talked about that on the Twitter Spaces meeting. If you didn't catch that, we're probably going to talk about that tonight. If the government says you're going to censor this person, censor this address, censor this state, they're going to do it, unfortunately. Even though Vitalik said, they're not cool with censoring, if your government comes to you, you're going to have to either bend a knee or unfortunately get sued or shut down. Moore's Law is dead. Released another video earlier this morning about Intel discrete graphics card, or ARC, effectively canceled. I think Pat, what is his name? Pat Gale, yeah. Almost sounds like the guy from the SEC, Gary Gensler, but it's Pat Gensler, or Gelsinger. Sorry, I said that wrong. Um, you know, we're probably not going to get Intel GPUs, probably not going to be as great as they were hoping, and so Intel's going to shut it down. So we're not going to have a third competitor in the GPU market. But I've been keeping an eye on the situation. You know, Intel's been talking about launching this, that, and the other. Let's go to Newegg real quick. I think the A30 is out there, but you know, where's the A750? Where's the A770? It's nowhere to be found. But you could get yourself an A30, 380, excuse me. You know, DJ Mines was one of the first to come out and test out the hash rate. Of course, the lowest one you could get is $139, but that's on back order right now. There's some type of package for an ITX build. And then this one, the one that DJ Mines and Red Panda have, is almost $230. So it's still not priced where I would like to see it, but you know, what are you gonna do with it, right? The drivers aren't that good. It's not a failed technology. I mean, there could be improvements done, but this is the only card that we've seen. Everything's been released in China, from my understanding. They've been marketing it to hell, but then senior leadership decides, you know, we're not going to go through with the discrete graphics because it's not going to perform well. You know, what does that mean for Battlemage? What does that mean for the other stuff? We're just quitting? Is Intel just quitting, focusing on CPUs? And I mean, honestly, I think Pat mentioned something about that in the past, is that they're spread out so thin with various projects that they're not competitive in certain areas. Now, they're competitive in the CPU space, but it took them a minute to start to bring Ryzen's, you know, jump in improvement in IPC and stuff like that back into check with some of their CPUs. We'll see what the next gen does. But if Intel stops focusing on CPUs and lets AMD run off into the sunset, and they start trying to push out these GPUs and not being competitive against AMD or Nvidia, I think it's just a lose-lose for them. So I would like to see a third competitor in the GPU space, but it looks like we might not have that, unfortunately. Let's go check out what some leaks are on video cards, since I got you guys for, I could technically go for another 13 minutes, but I may just wrap it up here. Unless you have any questions, please at me, send me a super chat, super sticker, whatever, to get my attention. But I'm very interested in the new 4000 series or the 40 series from Nvidia, and the new AMD series GPUs coming out. Very, very interested. You know, we got new Ryzen CPUs. I'm on the fence about upgrading. I would like to sell my X570 ASRock Tachi Riser Edition motherboard, my Crucial Ballistics 4400 DDR4 memory, and my 5900X CPU, and upgrade. But, you know, with RAM pricing, even though there are some that, you know, are a little bit lower in price, with RAM pricing, the motherboard pricing, and it seems that, by the way, I want you to know something. Motherboard manufacturers like MSI and stuff like that are charging a premium if you know, it's kind of like an early adopter tax. So if you do want to get the new AMD Ryzen CPUs, you're going to be paying a premium on the motherboards. So rather than just getting it day one, I would recommend waiting. But I know many of you don't listen to that. You guys don't wait for day one reviews. Just go out and get it. But you will get hit. Okay. So just know that you're going to be paying, you know, almost 25 to 30% more than what you would pay if you just waited a little bit. Okay. Don't be the first one in the door and then get shot the fuck out. So, but unfortunately, you know, people want to upgrade. People want the latest tech. So they're going to pay the price for it. Let's see here. Prototype graphics card pictured. What is this? So that's the Galax or Gigabyte. Nothing too crazy there. AMD Ryzen 7600X benched. Okay. Core speed 5.4 gigahertz. I got a 13,000 on multi-core and a 1681 on single core. That's not bad, actually. And actually get, what is that, more? What did it do? Overclock it? Yeah, they overclocked it a little bit. It drew 110 watts. So on the first test with the 13,000 multi-core, it drew 60 watts. That's not bad. That's pretty efficient and good. But with a little bit of an overclock, it looks like they hit 110 watts, but that temperature obviously did increase quite a bit. Let me see here. I'm gonna go see if I can recall what my tests were. Pictures. 5900X CPU. All right, here we go. What benchmark was that? That is, they are on R23. Damn. I haven't run that benchmark, but that's pretty good. So I have to do R23. I only have a R20. And then doing R23. So I have to get the R23 benchmark. Let's see here, R23. All right, I'm gonna install that. We'll take a look at it later. But yeah, not bad. And you know the 600X, you know the 5600X, the 3600X, and the 1600. I mean, like that is like the best ever. That's why I built my nephew's system with the 5600X. He could have waited for the 7600X, but you know, when being in the Coast Guard, moving from post to post, we just wanted to get a system done while he was here. And you know, you can't fault it. That's one of the better mid-range CPUs that can still compete, you know, relatively well with some of the other high-end CPUs. It's not too crazy, not too bad. $14,000, 600K. So it's basically up there with the 5700X, 8-core, 16-thread. That's not bad, man. And then you have the X3D with the extra cache that's going to be coming out. That should be very interesting. Indeed. All right, so let's see. We got some questions here. It's all in jest. I'm just joking. Oh, yeah, I know. You're just picking on that guy horribly. They even said that they will shut down even more divisions. It's crazy. Are we talking about no central? Oh, okay. We're talking about the centralization. They even said they would shut down even more divisions. What are you mining right now? So Black Cat Crypto, I am mining Bitcoin and Raven coin, and I do have one rig on Ethereum that's just focusing on Ethereum until the wheels fall off. But primarily Bitcoin and Raven coin. Oh, Ethereum Classic. I got some Ethereum Classic that I'm working on too. So I'm kind of split, diversified. Helium miners, Chia. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm getting a little bit of everything. I'm spreading the love out to make sure that I got a nice bag of everything. But NiceHash just released a quick miner switching algo now. You still have your Voodoo card? Nice. I still have some of my old cards. What did NiceHash just do? I gotta do an updated video on the quick miner. What are you switching to? You said you're switching algo now. What are you switching to, Dave Collins? Yeah, ABMNS production. Synthetic benchmarks are not really an indication of real world performance, but the efficiency is quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, but real benchmarks aren't always indicative of real world performance, but you know, you can at least get like a generalization, like, okay, this, you know, this looks like it's gonna be pretty good CPU, pretty good GPU, whatever it may be. You know, obviously, you know, Battlefield, whatever version they're on versus Time Spy is gonna be two different things. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. You're on Dagger. Okay, so you're mining Ethereum, or you're mining a Dagger type coin, and converting it to Bitcoin, which is understandable. Don't forget, Unmineable allows you to mine Ethereum and convert it to whatever coin you want. I actually found that I left some BNB on there and cashed out or took that out. I'm going to have some more videos coming up here in the future. I got a product that I'm working on, but I'm trying to finalize it with the company that I'm working with, and see what they're willing to do or work with me on. But just stay tuned to the channel. I'll keep on pumping out content as much as I possibly can with my tight work schedule and life. And I appreciate everybody coming in and hang out this Saturday with me on a Caffeine and Crypto. Don't forget, this evening we got we got the meeting. We got the miners meeting. So, oh, you were talking about Intel. Pat said that they will shut down some other divisions, not only the ARC division. Yeah, anything that, from my understanding, that's not, he said they wanted to move forward with a clear focus, a clear vision. And when you have all these different projects going on around you, and they're not really panning out the way you want, you gotta cut off the limb that's got the gangrene. So if it's not bringing a net positive to the company, they're unfortunately gonna have to shut it down. We'll see. Be very interested to have a nice, decent third competitor in the GPU market, to where Nvidia isn't dominating, AMD isn't dominating. We got some good back and forth hits, which is what we've been seeing lately with AMD. Across the board, right? AMD took on Intel, started making them sweat. Intel had to step it up. AMD is starting to chase down Nvidia. They weren't sweating as much with 3000 series, and then all of a sudden, driver improvements, optimizations. Okay, maybe they can do really well. And now next generation, will AMD take that crown? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think so, but I'm a Team Red lover, but I'm also a Team Green lover. Nvidia's GPUs are always just perform stably and 24/7 for me. AMD gives me a hard time with driver issues, but ever since I did that little adapter, the little USB 2 adapter, which I made a video on my mining rig, I haven't had any issues. If the system restarts, it immediately picks back up. It doesn't corrupt the Hive OS operating system. It just keeps on mining, keeps on hashing. So my 24/7 uptime, even if it does restart because of a driver issue, is so much better since I updated to that little device. And a lot of people sleep on that. Look for the one with a thumbnail that has Anthony from LTT on it, and you'll see what USB device I'm talking about. But I would be interested to have you down, come and hang out for the live stream, the Ethereum Miner Merge. I did, if you couldn't tell, I did update my modem. So Comcast came out, ran a new line, and I updated my modem because even after they ran the line, there would be a moment where the modem lights would turn off and then come back on, obviously bringing down the internet. I think something is going on electrically. When I look at the logs, it felt like something was shorting it, or a burst of electricity was coming through the coax cable, which I don't understand. Some fault somewhere, and it was causing the modem to basically restart. We got a new modem, but I also have the coax cable running through a surge protector, the surge protectors that have those two coax ends on it, just to help mitigate, lightning strikes or anything like that. I'm not sure, because there's been a lot of lightning strikes lately with all the storms here in Florida. Maybe one of them finally took out the Air Surfboard 8200, which is actually a really good cable modem. I think it still works. I just don't know why every once in a while it keeps resetting. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor. Yeah, 8 p.m. tonight is the stream. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull it up for you guys real quick. I'm going to put up a link. Let's see how much Ethereum's costing right now, or transaction-wise, and what the block times are. It shouldn't be anything too crazy. 14 seconds. All right, so 60 cents for a transaction. Not too bad. I updated the logo, or the thumbnail. I'm putting in the live chat right now. Make sure you come hang out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to speaking with you guys and chatting and speaking with everybody. It's going to be really fun. So yeah, Do me a favor on the way out. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out links in the description to help support the channel. Like today's video sponsor and Doge Lord, coffee. I love their coffee. And any other links down there that help support the channel. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the community support, and I will catch you in the next one.